Okay, welcome to, we're calling it OT now, Outfitter Tales. So basically welcome to OT4. We've got a good packed show for you this week. Just make sure you follow it all the way through because we've got quite a bit to show you. I mean, first off, we've got the archive and what we're showing this week.
So this week's archive footage is yourself down in Hertfordshire on the Muntjac. There's a couple of surprises in this package, but you need to watch it to see.
It's got to be a good one if I'm in it. Okay, down in Hertfordshire, just starting to come light, so we've probably just got enough light to start with now. So just going to head off. There's some stubble fields across the back of us here. Not sure what crops are in there, but it was stubble in the latter end of the year. Quite a good little wood for Muntjac. The cover's still up. We need some frost to knock that down, so it's quite hard to see Muntjac in the wood. But this time in the morning, hopefully see them kind of scurrying around the wood edges. So we're just going to have a steady meander down here, and the wind's kind of coming across us, so my plan is to kind of work around the edge of it and then come back into it, so the wind should be right for us. It's going to be a nice morning actually. So we'll head off and see what we can find. Might be having a mare here. So with the wind's quite good here, it's kind of blowing across us, so I'm going to just move into a bit of a different area, just sort of to work a little bit more into the wind, maybe along this bottom hedgerow, come across that way because it's coming right across. So I don't really want to walk down here and wind that quite nice strip, so we'll work around and we'll come back in. Seen a few decent ones, that nice buck here. We've got quite a bit of time left, we've probably got an hour, because they'll come and start to feed these colours. We'll move around back this way and then we'll work in around this hedge side. It's kind of strange. There was a lot of deer movement early on as it was just coming light, a little bit too early to shoot. Quite a lot of muntjac moving about, but sort of 15-20 minutes in, as the lights come up, it's just gone flat. It's one of those feelings you get a lot when you're stalking it. It's just flattened out. There's nothing moving, nothing on the outside of the fields. There's no muntjac scurrying about. So it's quite cold actually. So you just get the feeling they've just got in and couched. You can't blame them. We're going to keep going, but it's just the last 45 minutes to an hour. It's absolutely not seeing anything. So they're obviously, for whatever reason, gone to bed early, got tucked in. We'll maybe get into one of the woods and stalk through the wood really slowly, just see if we can find anything that is actually couched. I mean, the one advantage with muntjac in cover now, the thermal, whereas before you'd never see with binoculars, but now using a thermal you can pick a heat source up and you can get often find muntjac that are couched, so they've got themselves laid up for the morning. So I'll maybe try that. One of the signs they say of an impending hard winter is holly berries. Just at the base of this tree here in the brambles, there's something couched. It's never over till it's over. I mentioned down there to Steve, I think we'll just get into the woodland. There's nothing much moving on the outside, so we just get into the wood and we stalk carefully through the wood and kind of use the thermal a bit, which helps you look into cover, see if there's anything in cover. Still need the binoculars to positively ID, but I did get a heat source which I've been stalking for about 10 minutes, very, very carefully. Couldn't make out what it was. Checked it with the binoculars, definitely something there. Looked like a Muntjac couch. When I got to about 30 metres, nice hare, so good big hare, so we had a good stalk into a hare, and debating what direction to go back to the car, and just picked a little Muntjac doe, just coming out of the brambles, nice and relaxed, not aware of us, so probably only 70, 60 yards, if that. Just nice and steady on the sticks and job done. So it's never over till it's over. We've done a full stalk and we're literally back at the car. Pretty much where we saw the first Muntjac this morning, in the semi-darkness. So just give it 5 minutes, I'll go pick it up, do a quick suspended growlk on that in the wood, and then I think it'll be breakfast time. Okay, right, and then I think what we're going to do, we're going to put another one of your roe calling masterclasses in.
Yeah, so finally the third instalment of the roe calling, not a masterclass, it's just Rab doing some roe calling.
Don't be coy.
On the Cherrywood, finally, that's probably the most complicated of the 3 calls to get right.
Dave Smith.
Is that your phone? What's your phone, man?
Fucking dick. That was going well as well. Hi guys, Rab Miller here from South Ayrshire Stalking and Talon Gear. Following on from our series of top tips on calling roe deer, we're going to move on now to the Hibbertus Cherrywood caller. This thing here has an adjustable pitch by screwing in. The tighter you screw in, the higher the pitch will be. So turning this dial here will adjust your pitch. The further you screw it in, the higher the pitch will be. The more you let it out, the lower the tone will be in the pitch. It's all about finding the right pitch for you and the deer. Unlike the butterlow, there is quite a lot of skill involved in this and a lot of experimentation. See what works and see what doesn't work. Like the Nordic roe call, I use this specifically for the 2 types of calls. So the fawn or kid in distress, followed by the receptive doe. So first things first, you need to blow it to see what sort of tone you've got. So that's probably a bit high, so I'm just going to unscrew it slightly. Still high. That's the sort of tone. Again, you can fine tune the tone to suit your needs. As before, kid in distress, 3 short pips. I normally do it in groups of 3, you can do it in groups of however many, but I find that the 3 short pips, then a long pause, will allow you to see if anything's reacting in between calls. So, kid in distress. Short, sharp, short pause in between. And then the receptive doe, same tone, blowing slightly longer and longer pauses in between each blow. And that works for me. Might not work for you, but the secret to the success is adjust the tone to try and get the tone perfectly correct. Thanks guys, thanks for listening. See you again soon.
Go away.
Right, we'll try that again, shall we, without phone call interruptions. Was that a bee?
Aye.
Did it get you?
No.
Bastard.
Right, we're on, aren't we? Right, okay, so note to Rab, turn phone off when doing filming. Right, where were we? Roe calling. Rab covered the Nordic roe a couple of weeks ago, and we've just tagged a little clip into this. It was taken on the phone actually. I was just messing about a little bit. probably about a week from now actually, last year, just down on a stubble field down below us, and called a young roe booking with a Nordic, so you can actually see that in action, and it's quite an interesting clip actually, with the dog sat kind of watching events. So we've got that coming up for you. And then,
bear in mind, this is before I showed Chris how to do it properly, so just, yeah, there we go.
It worked anyway. And then, I forgot what I was going to say now.
Sorry.
Yeah, where were we? So basically what we got after that, oh yeah, the thermal, which I've been using the infrared i3 thermal for, I think, probably about 4 or 5 months now. So just want to do a little bit of review of that and just see how I found it. Really not particularly from a technical spec, but really just from a user. That's how I kind of operate. The kit I want to use, I don't understand half the technical crap anyway. But basically I want to know if it works and whether it works or not. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. And finally then...
It's competition giveaway.
Well, yeah, you're going to have to wait to the end to see what we're giving away, but we're actually, we're wearing a clue.
Both of us?
We've got clue on.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But you might not be able to see it.
You might not. Can you hear them bees?
Yes.
Right, it's getting quite warm now actually,
I love
so the
bees.
bees are, but he's frightened to death of them. The bees are whizzing around and you can hear them at the back. We might film them in a minute. If I can get him to come close enough, he's frightened to death of the bloody bees. And the nice thing, there's only about 40,000.
Just for info, the last filming we did, I got stung.
Anyway, it's whinging again. Right, thermals. We've touched on the subject of thermals. Now, I came late to the thermal party, to be honest with you, because I was quite uncomfortable about using them initially, to be honest, but we were in a deer management role and I was having the daft situation where clients were coming out with me with thermals and I'm still using traditional old binoculars, so I think I had to sort of catch up and get with the times. But you've been using them a lot longer.
Obviously I use them quite a lot in the military. We used to use them to locate IEDs and stuff, in my civilian job as well. But the amount of progress has come on technology wise in the past 10 years is phenomenal. So the kit that we're using now is 10 times better than the kit we had in the military in 2012, so 12 years ago. Yeah,
I mean, I think a lot of this material comes from it's ex-military anyway, isn't it?
Well, most of it, yeah, it was made for military and security trades. But yeah, so. But
it wasn't really affordable, was it? And then,
well, I mean, the kit we had in the military then, for the command lunge unit for the Javelin, you're talking 80 grand plus just for that.
Yeah.
And the stuff we've got now is actually better resolution.
Well, I mean, I've probably, I don't know how long I've been using it on a consistent basis. I don't know, a couple of years. I don't know, time flies when you get old, but probably quite 2 years, nowhere near as long as you have. I can see the development in the thermal technology, and also price.
Yeah. So initially, thermal wasn't great, but very expensive. Now the prices are coming down, and obviously it's getting a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, I think I started off with it was a Pulsar, I think. The first unit I used, quite small, I think was retailing, I think then was about 1,200-1,300 quid. But if I compare that with something like this now, and these are what I would say mid-range, so these are retailing about 1,700 quid, I think. And also got to thank the guys from Talon Gear, because that's where this came from. And by the way, Talon Gear stock infrared products, so I've got to get a plug in for them anyway. But they were being very helpful with me. And I'm not being paid to say that, but I might be after the show. But yes, I mean, I think fantastic, and I think the kit that I was the thermal I was using before that was over £3 grand, three and a bit actually, 3,233. And to be honest with you, there's not a massive amount of difference between that at 1,700 and the unit at over £3 grand.
To be truthful, it depends on what you're using it for. If you're out doing rats in the shed, you don't need the top of the range stuff. Even deer stalking, you won't see anything with a cheap thermal, you won't see anything with that you won't see with a cheaper thermal.
Yeah, it's just
you'll only see more definition.
Yeah, definition quality,
which obviously we require for obviously our job. But again, you can't always tell the difference between a buck or a doe or a stag and a hind unless they're in velvet. So
yeah,
you still need your glasses.
Yeah, that's crucial. That. I see a lot of stuff up from people now that only go out with a thermal. I honestly don't see how you can do that. Deer management is deer management. It's not just going and whacking a deer. And we want to see, I think you'll agree, we want to see, what we're shooting, specific animals, detail, selection, you know, of your quarry. It's not just to go out and there's a deer, there's a heat source and crack away, and I'm really quite uncomfortable about that. And I think the day that people, you know, get away from the you know, the heat source will tell you what it is and where it is, and with practice you can pretty much tell what they are, but I still want to have those, I always have those binoculars up. I want to know what I'm looking at.
If I was ever to use a thermal scope, which I do use, it would only be on the foxes. And again, I would buy as good as you can, because you don't want to be shooting dogs, or there's also sort of stories out there of people shooting donkeys and horses, just shooting at heat sources. You need to be able to identify your target. It's basics, but a lot of people sort of...
Yeah, I mean, I'm still a bit... I use a thermal all the time when I'm out, particularly with clients, and if we're in a management role or if we're looking at restock site.
End of the day, our job is to get clients onto the deer. So,
yeah, so you use everything available.
I use a thermal, but if I'm out stalking by myself, I don't use a thermal.
No, I don't.
I like to go back to old school.
Old school. I must admit, there's much more satisfaction than a nice stalk, a good foot stalk, getting close into your quarry and using binoculars. If I'm honest, it's really probably quite controversial. I'd rather they weren't available. I'd rather we didn't have them, and I preferred it when we didn't have them. We use them now, and I get that, and I suppose you could say the same arguments about converting from bow and arrow to you know, to rifles, and then from iron sights to telescopic sights. I've had this conversation before, so basically I've had to get with the times. But if I'm really honest, and they were all banned tomorrow, I wouldn't be. But then again, you get your predator aspect coming in, don't you? What you do with foxes and all the rest of it. So yeah, it's a bit of a daft thing.
Also, for me as well, obviously given the laws here in Scotland, freedom to roam and stuff,
yeah,
as a safety device, you've been able to see everything that's out there within reason. Obviously, if you can't see it with your naked eye, you're never going to see it with the thermal anyway, because it doesn't, like the films and stuff, you can't see through buildings and even glass.
It's a good point, that.
But as a safety issue, the amount of people I've seen up the hill, when you're up the hill, you might have missed them with the glasses or whatever, or they're going through the bushes and you see them with the thermal. It's a safety aspect as well.
And also, I suppose a lot of
recovery.
Well, I was just going to say that if a lot of folk don't have dogs, not often through circumstances or whatever, but that is another very useful tool. Follow up of a wounded deer or follow up of a lost deer. So I can see all the benefits. I must admit, and I use them all the time anyway. So I've buried my dinosaur head and I'm on it, and I'm using them.
I mean, we even thermal drone as well.
Yeah,
ideal for doing your sort of counts and stuff.
Yeah. Until
you actually drive them into, it automatically avoids a tree and puts itself into another tree and then lands in the only rock on the forest floor.
Yes, you did that, didn't you? Excellent.
That was an expensive mistake.
Right, so one of the things I said I would cover is the thermal that I'm currently using at the moment. Now, the technical information for people that understand that sort of thing is easily available, and you just need to goggle it. So crack on. I don't understand half of that anyway. Or phone rab. Yeah, phone rab. So lots of people, first of all, have asked me where to get one of these from. The guys at Talon Gear will be helpful, and like I said, if you want to know anything technical, phone Rab, because he sort of understands that thing. Well, he tells me he does, I'm not convinced. When I review something, I review it from a user's perspective. It's kit that is out with me in the field every day, and this is about as convenient a unit as I've actually had hands-on. I use my Apex Predator Roe sack for the thermal, and I sit this in a pouch. A lot of people have them around the neck. I know Rab has his around his neck. So I like something that slips in and out of the pouch easily. Really nice, fits in the hand very well. What do I like about it? Everything about the size, the ergonomics of it is fantastic. That's what I want. I don't want a great big unit. I don't want something that's too small. I want something that's easy to handle, which this is. I want simple controls. I don't want it to be too technical or too complicated. You turn the unit on just by pressing the dial briefly, and the unit warms up pretty quickly. I don't know what, a couple of seconds, and then she's ready to go. Everything really is operated by the wheel, the dial. So it's really functional. Just by pressing it, you get the menu on the screen. You just rotate the dial, it moves you through the menu options, and press it to select. It's absolutely simplicity itself, which, trust me, I need. So I don't want to be complicated when I'm out there. That is great, and this is the easiest unit that I've used. If you want to take any images, it's really good, really clear, and you just press the button. So it's really able to operate it really with one finger, all of the functions. You don't have to look at it to work out where things are. Press that, you get your photograph, or a little bit longer hold and you get video recording, and the video recordings are very good. So that's really simple. The dial's great. The other thing I really like about this, first of all, it's got a lens cover, so when it sits in the Predator Roe sack, it's not getting mucky. Very easy to flip on and close. It opens up and doesn't sort of close all the time as well, which I've found with some other units. So that I really like. Keeps everything clean. When you're using the unit, so basically thermal, and you close that, it closes the screen down, and then simply by touching just moving the button slightly, you put it into standby mode, and then open it up, touch the button, and you're back on again. So that's good, power saving facility, which I very much like. It's got pretty much your standard palette options. I think there's 5 colour palettes on it. As far as detection ranges go, life size got a human size, claimed to be out to about 1800 metres. So, and to be honest with you, I'm seeing that with red. So big deer, effectively, I think 1800 metres, and you can actually tell what you're looking at. You can actually differentiate between a cow and we were talking about this earlier on, a cow and a deer, you know, as long as you know what you're kind of looking at, although I wouldn't be going shooting it at that range. For identification purposes, it's talking at about sort of 300 metres, but I think it is really quite clear, and I would think that's probably a fair and accurate claim. You actually you focus in, diopters, just a twist on here. That's really good, really handy. Sort of focuses in very nicely. And in terms of charging, which is also a useful facility if it's fairly quick, this fully charges from empty, I think, to about 90% in an hour, and I'm finding that, and it's very simple, standard connector via USB into the little housing there.
So magnetic as well, isn't it?
Yeah, magnetic charge on it, and that all comes as standard. I'll tell you one thing that I did like about the infrared was the packaging. I mean, this might sound a stupid thing to say, but the box it comes in is fantastic. It's well packaged, everything's there, it's got some nice little compartments, can't move around, and that sort of says a lot to me. If people have taken the care to package something really well, and it's not sort of just chucked in a box and a load of blooming bubble wrap or something around it, this is really well packaged. That says to me that they're taking a lot of care about the product. So if they've gone to the trouble with the box, then I think it's fair to say that the unit itself should be really well produced, and I think it is. I think I've been using this now for maybe 5 or 6 months. Time actually flies, and I've really got no criticism of this whatsoever. I do like the unit. The price bracket is mid-range. I think it's about 1700 quid, and like I said, it is available from Talon Gear if you want to get hold of one.
Who was it recommended you getting that one, mate?
Say that again?
Who was it recommended you getting the i3?
I don't know. Bloke. Somebody called Rab, was it? I don't know. Somebody called Rab recommended me this to me anyway, and most of the time he talks crap, but on this occasion he actually got it right. Shroud for the eyepiece and everything's great. It doesn't actually move, and like a lot of them kind of get loose after time and the things are whizzing around, so that doesn't happen. Just a good all-round unit, and I like it a lot, and it works. It's had a bit of hammer. I've dropped it a few times, which is inevitable with me, and it is still working. So basically that is the Infrared i3 EH35, well worthy of consideration if you're wanting a very convenient, medium priced thermal. Available from Talon Gear. That's the third plug. Anyway, right, so that's that. So exciting bit now then. So what have we got? We've got a really good giveaway. We're going to run this over for a few weeks. Rab's going to tell you how you can enter that in a minute. But I guess you probably all assume that because I've got this t-shirt on and because I'm doing a review of the i3 infrared that it's going to be a thermal.
Wrong. Guys, so the giveaway we're going to be giving this week, well, obviously we're giving away, but it'll be in sort of 2 episodes time, is...
This is the big reveal. By the way...
Sorry. See, I can still get my leg up.
Well, you said leg up. Okay, fantastic. Guys at Brandecosse, cracking boots, the Alto, fairly new launch this. It's kind of a leather version of what I'm wearing, a Criollo. Quality material. I've been wearing Brandecosse boots now for over 2 years, and yes, I'm the ambassador, but I only wear good kit. I'm waiting for the Yorkshireman living in Scotland scenario in a minute. But basically what you've got here is Capriolo Alto. Obviously these are size 9s, but you will obviously have them in whatever size you want. Really, really well made quality boot. Expensive, you know, piece of kit. Very, very good price. How can they enter?
Right guys, to get your hands on these boots, if your name's not Chris Dalton, who gets them for free, I have to pay for my own. What you need to do is visit the Brandecosse website and basically subscribe to their newsletter, subscribe to the channel, like and tag in a friend. All the details will be on the description below to enter the competition. As I say, this competition will be put out random draw.
Yeah, we're gonna give a few options to win the boots. All you're gonna have to do is tag in either on social media or on Instagram, but we'll put a separate clip out on how to do that. We think we'll probably let it run for 4 weeks, so we'll cover the how to enter again in a fortnight's time on the Outfitters Tales 5, and we'll also put some stuff out on social media. But the channel program after that, we will announce the winner, and it will be a random selection from all of the ways that you can enter. And I think it's just the comments box on the YouTube channel where you need to sort of just basically subscribe to the YouTube channel and tag a friend in and subscribe to the Brandecosse newsletter. Yeah. And they're awesome. Are genuinely a good bit of kit. Fantastic.
I actually got these. I was sharing a stand with the Brandecosse guys at the Stalking show, and I bought a pair from them, and I've been wearing them now since they're probably 4 or 5 months old now. They're like wearing slippers. Are they a winter stocking boot? No, but they're an ideal summer boot. Very comfy and. They're great. I mean, I wear this is not the Alto, this is Capriola, but I've worn these for summer stalking, quite warm. We did have some warm weather last year, and in the woodland where it was very, very dry in the understory, where you can actually feel the boots. They're really, really good. So I think it's just a great addition to the brand, really. I must admit, these are my going out boots. I think they're a bit nice. They're a bit nice for. I actually got these so that I could wear boots out. If you went to a restaurant or something, when we're out down hitching or stalking, you're not wearing your actual proper big clumpy stocking boots covered in blood and guts.
He's ex-army. He only wears boots anyway.
Yeah.
And we had this conversation the other day. I only wear silly trousers and brogues.
And Crocs.
And Crocs. Crocs are great. Crocs are the way forward. Anyway, guys. Thanks very much for watching as always, and remember, like us on the social media channels and follow the instructions on the screen, and you will be entered into a draw for a brand new pair of the Brandecosse Alto boots, which will be shipped direct to your home address. Awesome prize.
Guys, please keep the comments coming, because we do actually look at all the comments, and we're actually changing the show format slightly to incorporate some of those comments and stuff that you've asked us to look at. So good and bad. If you think there's something we could improve on, please let us know. But obviously stuff that you want to see, we can then sort of keep going.
Yeah, and I'm serious, that is great, and we're getting a lot of positive feedback, and it makes it worthwhile when we're getting that. What we are going to do, actually, one of the guys that's coming down here on an experienced stalker who's actually coming down here on a level 1 sent some ideas about what he'd like to cover. And one of the things he wanted us to do is just cover the way that we run the DSC1 here. So what we're going to try and do is put a show short in, if you like, in a week's time. We're going to actually just cover that. So that's one question we've been asked. He's asked some more questions which we'll cover in a subsequent episode, but we will do that. So we'll put a little short out for you in a week's time, and it will cover questions asked about the way that we run the level 1. And this is an experienced stalker coming down to take the DMQ qualification. So I guess a lot of people are probably interested in that. So we're not going to do the whole thing, but we're just going to few pointers on how we run it, what's involved. So basically I think that's it. So it's good night from
puppies.
Me. But it's what?
Forgot about the puppies.
Oh, the puppies.
Yeah, so a few questions about the puppies as well. Obviously
we'll put them on next week.
Yeah. Obviously their eyes aren't open quite yet, so I'm leaving them until they start moving around a little bit.
Yeah, so put that on the short.
Yep.
Put that on the short. So we'll have a short coming next week. Note the comments underneath. Thank you very much for watching, and it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
And remember, watch this space.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Here he comes. Here he comes.